All right, so we wrapped up week 12, and it has been a crazy last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, I lost over $2,000 in my account. I was down to $15,200, and now I've been able to reclaim my losses here in just this week. We'll look at the numbers first, but before we do, I want to show you my Tesla position and just how bad it is. So I'm a new options trader, and my goal is to get a 50% return by the end of this year. And in order for me to do that, I've got to learn different things, try out different things, and see what works and what doesn't. And that's what I'm trying to do with this channel, is to find out for myself what works for me and what doesn't, and to share with you the journey. So if you're interested, hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at Tesla. All right, so you can see here, my realized gain so far is negative $996. That's negative right now. I do have open positions, but I've been rolling and I've been taking the losses until I can finally close my position at a profit. And yet unrealized, I have a negative 294. So that puts my total year gain at a negative $1,290 right now. Now that's been a recovery from the last couple weeks. We see that Tesla has made some improvements in its price. I think we found a bottom. We'll take a look at the charts here in just a minute. You can see with commissions and things like that. Let's take a look at the curve mode here. I've got two put spreads on right now. One is around 180 and another one is at 175. And they're pretty wide. I've got a lot of money in it for my account. I've got $5,500 of capital tied up into these two positions here. And that is a third of my account right now. And it's not going very well for me. I'm in a tight spot right now with Tesla. It's not too far away from the puts that I'm selling, so it's not too far gone. I'm just continuing to roll until if the price finally decides to correct. Me personally, I believe that the price is lower than what it should be. I think it's oversold right now, and it's just a matter of time before we see a correction here. So looking at the daily chart, we can see we do have what appears to be a bottom right here, and that was around 160, around 160, 161. And then we've seen a push back up, a gap up. This was after the Fed talked about the interest rates and what their plan is for the rest of the year. And we saw a push on the markets there. So Tesla, even though it is interest rate sensitive, it did end up having a nice correction here. And then here on Friday morning, it gapped down and then made a nice recovery up back to the 8 EMA. We can see that the moving averages are still going down. It is possible, I believe, that we could still see a new bottom here. We might not have seen the end of the downward turn here for Tesla. We do have earnings coming up in April, so I think that's the next catalyst that we'll see unless some kind of news comes up, but that's what we're seeing right now. Again, I'm just waiting for the price to go up to around 180 to 200. I should be able to close out of my position by then with a good profit and then move on from there. Let's take a look at the weekly chart and get a bigger picture view. I really like the view of the weekly chart on Tesla because it tells a very good story over many years. So let's zoom out here. We can see here it is just a massive bull flag. We have the bottom of whenever it started going up. We have this bottom here. I think that was in 2022. We have the high here. And then as we go down and follow the trend, I mean, it's a classic bull flag on a major scale. So the question is, what's going to happen with the price here? Are we going to break this down? Is Tesla going to fail as a company? Are we just going to be a failure of a stock here? I don't think so. I think we're going to see a bottom here. We're going to float inside this bull flag until earnings, or maybe it might even take until, toward the end of the year when interest rates start getting cut that we see this push up. I think it's just a matter of time for me. Sooner rather than later. I'm not looking for a long-term position. I'm just looking to get my trades in within about a week or two. So I don't want to have to hold on to this position. I've got a lot of my money tied up into it that I could be using somewhere else. Or placing another trade and collecting more premium here in Tesla. I'm really hoping that this is a bottom right here and we can start seeing a push up. And it doesn't have to break the bull flag for me. It can just stay around these, around the 200 moving average here. I'd be good with that, no problem. So we'll see what happens next week with Tesla. Again, it's not going to be surprising if we do continue to see downward momentum here. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's look at the numbers for week 12. I've got net liquidation of $17,909. Total premium collected is $579. My return on the week is 17.3%. I have a net liquidation of positive $1,886. Total premium collected on the year is $6,318. And my percent return is 11.78%. And I'm wanting to turn that into 50% by the end of this year. And again, if you want to follow me in that journey, hit that subscribe button and see how I do and the things that I learn along the way. So even though Tesla is down, and my account is suffering from it, I was still able to bring my value back up. I have 2 big trades that I was able to make on futures. I want to take some time to go through that and show you exactly what happened. All right, so my position is the copper futures here. I did about 45 days to expiration, somewhere around there. Now it's at 34 days, but I opened this up. I did a 20 delta strangle, and that's selling a put at 20 deltas and then selling a call at 20 deltas over here on this side. So you can see right now the price has dropped since I had opened the position, and it's at 10 delta right now. This one's still sitting at around 22, and the price has been moving up and down inside this range that I have. And throughout time, I've been collecting theta, and then I've also had the implied volatility go down over time. And so it's been a really good trade for me here. And so you can see here, I'm down $262 realized. I had another position open because the first position that I have, which is the one I've got right now, was doing so well. I decided to open up another position. And the next day I looked at my account and my gain was at 0. So I decided to go ahead and close that second position that I made at a loss, realizing that, hey, I could potentially make that money back on just that one position that I have. Realizing that my capital was tied up, I was using leverage. So I realized that I just need to get out of the position, reduce my capital usage here, and just let the first position work. And I was really using my emotions to trade. So I decided to go ahead and correct that position, pay $262 to get out and be in a good place with my account. So far, it's doing really well. I'm up $731 right now. It's very close to being closed at 50% return. You can see that I've recovered my loss so far with $468 if I was to close right now. So we can see here in curve mode, the put that I've got here around 385, and then the call that I've got around 436, and then the price is sitting somewhere in the middle here. So it's been back and forth. It went up to around 416. Let's look at the chart here. Yeah, so we'll take a look here at the chart. We can see it was around 405 whenever I bought it, sitting right here. And then it shot up to 416 for the high, and now it's dropping back below where I bought it. So the price has been moving around. This is why I think it's important to just leave the position where it's at. And if I need to make a choice on the position, I'll do that at 21 days if it doesn't close at a 50% return. So right now I'm just leaving it alone because the price can move pretty big. The implied volatility rating was around 94, and I had bought it at 84. Now it's down to around 74, as you can see right here, that small number right here. I'm just leaving it where it's at, not touching it until I have to make a move on it at around 21 days, or the position goes in the money either on the call side or the put side, or I get 50% profit and the order will close automatically. So that's where I'm at right now with this. It's doing really well. I decided to hold on to it. I could have closed it just to collect some profit. It should be good enough to close next week sometime. My other futures position is the natural gas, which is /NG, and I don't have any realized gain yet because I haven't closed the position, but it's given me $387 in unrealized gain, and so that's been a really big plus. It's been a steady, easygoing mover. I always see green on it whenever I'm looking at it on my positions. You can see I've got my put that I'm selling at around 145, and then the call that I'm selling at around 215. And the price has just been lingering around this area. And then so for me, it's really just a matter of time before I'm able to collect my premium and move on. But 24 is the IVR right now. I think it was around 34 whenever I had opened the position. I have implied volatility that's contracted, which has been a benefit, and also just collecting the theta on it. So again, I did this trade around 45 days to expiration. It wasn't exact. And you can see there's not really a whole lot of choices here. There's only so many that you can choose around 45 days. That's where I like to open my positions at. So you can see where the expected move has declined, and that my delta has also gone down because of that. So when implied volatility goes down, option prices overall go down. So your delta is naturally going to go down, and you might see that your call and your put are both green. And so that's a really good sign when you see that both your call and put are green, because that means that you're having that volatility contraction. So I've also been collecting money. My value's been going up because the theta value is declining throughout time, and I profit on that. So really great to see very smooth motions here on the Henry Hub natural gas futures here. So I think that this position will close sometime next week as well. So I made a net liquidation graph here so that we can see in a linear chart what my net liquidation looks like each week. So every week is going to be a data point. We can see week 1 I was up, then I dropped back down, and made a recovery here. I made a huge dip these past few weeks, and that's from Tesla. And then the 0 days to expiration trades that I was doing, I quit doing that, jumped into futures. I was able to recover that position. Even though Tesla is still against me, I was able to make a recovery here. And it looks like we're pretty well on track for a 50% return right now. 50% return for me right now is $24,000. There is a chance, though, that I could be making deposits into this account. Just so you know, when I make a deposit, that I am not going to include that as my net liquidation 50%. So it's going to be a net zero for that. And then I have to make 50% on any money that I put into it. So don't think that just because, oh, I put in $10,000 more that, oh, I hit my 50% goal. Any money that goes in and it's not made in the account is not going to count as net liquidation. It's only the money that is made from the account. So just wanted to clarify that and make that well known, that I'm not just going to pump dollars in here to say that I made 50%. That if I do end up adding money, you'll know about it, and that it's not going to affect the performance. The 50% goal is premium collected and any capital gains that I might have along the way, or potentially dividends. I've got T-Flow right now, and I think that pays around a 5% dividend right now. So any of those things, that's what I'm going for. That's the 50% that I want. So I'm excited with the future holds here. We're on the right track, I believe. And Q1 is just about done here. We've got 3 more quarters to go. And I think we're going to make the 50% as of right now. We'll see what the market has in store for us throughout the rest of the year. I'm still learning new things. But so far, I like selling strangles on the futures contracts with options, and then doing a 30-20-10 strategy on the ES options on futures there as well. So that's, both those things have been very well so far. I want to keep you updated on that. Again, if you want to join me on my journey for 50% returns, hit that subscribe button. And if this video was a help to you, hit the like button. And hey, if you have any questions or you want me to go over anything more, just leave a comment down below. And 2, I'm looking for video ideas. So if you need help with something or you have a question about something and I can maybe help you, leave a comment down below and we'll see you on the next video.